At Buckingham Palace today, African leaders were in a bus while President Biden was in his limousine. These are buses where African leaders were in. These are the leaders who were in the buses. But President Biden was in his limousine. Amazing. These are our African leaders who were well seated in the buses. Like school children. They are in these buses. Very happy. But US President was allowed to use his limousine, well treated. But our own leaders were treated like students.
Fleet of coaches at a reception at Buckingham Palace. President Biden arrived in his armored limousine, but dozens of other leaders packed onto a fleet of coaches at a reception at Buckingham Palace.
While President Biden was in his limousine. At Buckingham Palace today, African leaders were in a bus. Buses where African leaders were in. These are the leaders who were in the buses. But President Biden was in his limousine. Amazing. These are our African leaders who were well seated in the buses. Like school children. They are in these buses. Very happy.
Say, my brother, my sister, let's work together to build the African continent so that it can compete with the United States of America, it can compete with Europe, it can compete with China. So please, let's make sure that we plow the idea of African unity. We may not be there when Africa gets one president, but we'll be the ones who have planted that idea amongst our children, and our children will salute us.
We want a united state of Africa with one currency, with one economy, with one parliament, with one president, with one judiciary, where all member states will be held accountable. We want Africa to be one. Well, this South Africa is just a starting point. And why?
They tell us that this particular person or that particular country has greater or more favorable potentialities than the other. They do not tell us that we should unite, that we are all as good as we are able to make ourselves once we are free.
The father of African nationalism, Nkrumah gave funds to other nationalist movements and preached the message across the continent.
This mid-20th century is Africa's. This decade is the decade of African independence. Forward then to independence. To independence now. Tomorrow, the United States of Africa.
What do you think about the whole thing? Please, you can leave a comment right now. Let's start the discussion. Please subscribe, hit the bell and click all. Then like our videos and share.